Hi there, my name is Gabriela. Let me walk you through Productive, an integrated tool for agencies which covers the whole project lifecycle, from sales to invoicing. The first thing which you see when you enter Productive is the dashboard. Depending on your permission level, you'll see different things here. You can customize the dashboard by clicking on editing widgets, and you can add here things which interest you most, like for example, profitability of different projects, invoices which are overdue, or who's out of office today. Project lifecycle starts from selling a project, so we'll move to the sales pipeline now. The pipeline is a funnel where you can visually track progress of your sales opportunities. You can customize these stages in the sales settings. And you can add a new deal by clicking on this plus sign. The sales pipeline also helps you organize your sales efforts. You can set up reminders for yourself and your team members to make sure you close deals faster. It also improves the transparency in your sales team because you can add notes from the meetings, forward client emails, and get an overview of what's happening with a certain deal. If you click on the name of this client, it will open up the CRM part where you can see the full relationship and the history you've had with this client. Integrated part of the sales pipeline is also quoting. In Productive, you can build your proposal based on the services that you're offering to this client, your rates, and the hours you've estimated. You can even use the rate card to build this faster. The best part is, if you win a deal, your proposal smoothly converts into a new project, and all of the data just copies over, which you can see now. Productive does the perfect handover from sales to delivery team for you. We've landed in the project section now. In this overview, you can see the key information about all projects. Hours consumed on a project versus hours estimated, the revenue, real-time profit margin, and the status of the invoicing. Using custom fields, which you can set up in the settings, you can create your own view. Like for example, display projects by business unit. Let's open up a project and see what it's composed of. The first tab is the tasks. Here you can organize the work you're delivering and collaborate with your team. Every task has a description, a person responsible for delivering the task, and a deadline. As you're making progress with a task, you can write your comment here, share your progress, or ask your team to give you feedback. If a task is complex, you can break it into subtasks or to-dos. If you want to be very granular about time tracking, you can track time down to a task level if you enable the tracking time on tasks add-on in the settings. You can organize the tasks any way you want, switching between different layouts for different purposes. You can also group the tasks by any criteria you wish or filter them, and save these views for later so you can use them again. The key component of any project in Productive is the budget. That's where you'll be monitoring the financial health of your project. If a project is complex, you can separate it into separate budgets, as in phases of your project. A budget, just like a sales deal, is composed of different services you've sold to your client. These could be different disciplines or seniorities of your team. Each one has a certain number of hours you've sold and a price rate attached to them. Multiplying these two, you'll get a budget per service. An important thing to identify here is the billing model. You can choose between fixed, in case where you've agreed with a client in advance how much you're going to charge. Actuals, when you build a client based on the actual hours that you will deliver, or a non-billable service in case you offered some time to a client that you would not charge for, like for example, research time. Apart from the services, you can also budget expenses like traveling or external vendors and log them later using expense approvals. If a project is a retainer, you can click on the recurring tab and that way automatically create the same budget every month. Now, as people will be tracking time, they will be spending that budget. Which brings us to our next topic, time tracking. Your team can track time in Productive using different methods. desktop timer if they download their desktop app, calendar time tracking, which pulls their meetings from Google or Outlook Calendar, daily time tracking, where they would suggest the project they're working on and log their hours, but also use suggestions from resource planning, or the weekly timesheet, where they would log their whole week at once and pin the projects they usually work on or projects they were researched to work on this week. Whichever method you choose, the hours that you log will automatically update the budget consumption of your project. When the team tracks time on services, Productive is monitoring how much budget you have left, both on the service level, multiplying the hours spent with their billable rate, and on the overall budget. In case you go over the budget, Productive will notify you automatically. If you add the salaries of your team in their profile, which is something that only the highest access admin users would see in Productive, you'll be able to monitor the actual cost of the project. Now, when your team tracks time, Productive converts that time into the cost for your company so you can monitor in real time how much profit you're making. If you'd like to get a high-level overview of profitability of all of your projects, you would go to Insights, our reporting capability, but we'll cover that fully in a minute. If you want to allocate your team on projects and plan resourcing, go to Scheduling. Here you will find an overview of all of your team and their availability. In this screen, you can select the person that you need for your project and the service they would be working on, when they will be working on it, and for how long. Make sure you're also aware of their workload, because if they're working on too many projects at the same time, Productive would flag them with a red indicator or a partially green one when they have some availability. If you're looking for a particular department or people with specific skills, you can use the custom fields to find them faster and save those used for later, of course. This is a full overview of team's capacity, so you can track their absences too and schedule their vacations, or even better, they could request their vacations in Productive if you enable the time off approvals. Make sure to activate that add-on so they could do it. Now that we've built our resource plan for the project, we can go back into the budget and check the forecast chart to see if we'll have any budget overrun or what kind of profit we will make. The last step of the project is invoicing. All key information about your project is in the budget, where you will see if this budget has been invoiced already. You can create a new invoice by clicking on this new invoice sign and opt between two different methods of invoicing, based on remaining fixed amount of the budget or based on delivered time in a certain period. This is a preview, so in the next step, you would edit the line items, and if you have set up the integration with your accounting tool, you would export the invoice there and all of the information would just carry over. With Insights, you can use any available data from Productive to create reports from scratch or use our pre-built templates. Those templates are separated in different categories, and I'll check the profitability one. With a single click, you can compare clients and their profit in any time period and dig deeper by grouping the data by projects or different team members who were working on this client. With this kind of data, you can really make some strategic decisions. Productive can do a lot, and I hope you've seen that too. It's now time for you to start building your own projects and try to manage them in Productive to see if the tool has what you need. If you get stuck with anything, don't hesitate to reach out to our support team using the chat button in the right bottom corner. We'll be happy to help you.